Salt Lake City, it is Pac-12 basketball presented by Bolt 24. The UCLA Bruins in town at the Huntsman Center to take on the Utah Runnin' Utes. You take a look at him back tonight. He will not be in the starting lineup, however. Larson, who had the ball in his hands in some big spots, while Jones with Cody Riley. 72-70. Carlson and Riley to tip it up. UCLA winners of its last three. Utah has lost 3 in a row, and again tonight will be without Mickey Jantunen. They're hoping to have him back by the weekend.
See, they're very comfortable passing the ball and getting late in the shot clock. It doesn't bother them at all. Nice
Timmy
stroke.
Allen.
How do you like that stroke? You already commented on that thing. That's kind of a set shot from the chest.
29% from 3 this year for the junior.
Been awfully good, though. Man, he can score the ball. Nice Steve Martin move around.
Timmy Allen nearly the steal. This is Juzang with those 14 points per game. And he's got UCLA on the... Now here's Campbell with the switch. Deflected and bothered, and a good defensive effort there on Larson, who was defending the larger Riley. And Moscoviak challenged his team after he thought an uninspired effort to start the Oregon trip at Oregon State. And Carlson stretches it out each game. 23-point second half, and that comeback win over Colorado, in which Utah trailed by as many as 19 points. Allen inside, he just forces up because they're in the heels of your shoes.
Letting him play there a little bit. That was pretty physical inside.
Jalen Clark, the freshman off the bench, came out of the scrum with it. And now Riley turns the corner and scores.
Wow. Yeah, he's been very generous at Montana, too, having graduated from there and coached from there. So you can see UCLA just
shooting the 3 at 38%. But to your point, for the first time, good to see for the Utes. For Utah with a shoulder injury, you could see a padding there on his left shoulder. But they're thrilled to have him back. Here's Plummer off a screen and a deep look at a 3, which he knocks in.
Streaky, and once he gets going, he's hard to shut off. The bad news, if sometimes for Utah, is he doesn't recognize it. Maybe they aren't all going down for him. But as you mentioned, 23.5, that's pretty impressive.
And there's an answer. David Singleton with
the jumper. That was a set shot. Be interesting. There's Rylan Jones. That's what he's going to do. He's got great court savvy. Great coach. As is Sean Miller.
Number 35, you heard the comment, and we asked Mick Cronin, could he see the ball behind Martin Jarman's back? He said no, he didn't know why he was getting a presentation. And he said it'd been fun. He spent the last few days thinking about all the players that he's won. And here comes Hawkes.
Thought there's a little contact right there. In the NBA, that'd have been a foul.
You've advocated for 2 whistles so far today. It's unlike you.
Well, if it affects play, then you got to call it. If it doesn't affect play, let it go. So intriguing is the fact that he can score inside but step away and shoot the perimeter shot.
Juzang a triple.
Kentucky with all the talent they always have. Nice play, nice take right there by opportunity. Probably the right choice for him in this particular situation, being from Tarzana right in LA.
A foul before the shot. Shot doesn't count. A foul away from the ball. I think it was on 2 slips. Juzang, that is contested and blocked by Ian Martinez.
Boy, Martinez is a spectacular athlete. Travel.
Went in on 3 defenders.
Make those shots. That's just an inside-outside look. Not going to get better shots than that.
Jackson Brenchley, who attempted that shot off the bench. Mac Etienne now, the freshman for UCLA, just in his 6th game. Well, you mentioned it, Jay Kine, Washington.
Yeah, he's an inside-outside shooter. It was just poor defense. A guy turned his back, and the ball kicked right outside. He got a wide-open shot. That's going to talk about overhelp. Nice drop down inside.
Martinez had 16 points in that game at Cal that you saw him in.
Yep, and impressive 16.
Well, one thing Larry Kryzkowiak told us about that performance was what he liked is that he didn't settle at the three-point line as Jaquez.
The discussion about how to defend at the post and what they're going to allow you or not allow you to do, but that would be a long discussion. Comes you back, supposed to be an offensive foul, but you don't see that called. I mean, defense has to have an opportunity to play as well.
The timeout that we just saw was called by Utah. So
nice drop down by Plummer.
And they score.
Okay, now we got a mismatch inside with Plummer.
Trying to guard Etienne. Carlson trying to guard Campbell.
Nice way to stay down, Carlson. Don't let him step through.
Bernard.
Nice play.
Goes down.
But a lot of guys involved, taking people off the dribble.
Shooting 60% right now.
It's just about ready to say
Jalen Clark, the freshman, on and guarding the ball there a moment ago. Now it's Plummer.
Good rotation right there. There's a shot you want.
For Martinez, who's been just 20%.
You better watch out for where he is. But you're right. I mean, that's a really good point, guys. These freshmen have come in here expecting a full summer of work, a full fall of fundamentals, and they didn't get that. There's Plummer on cue.
Bernard. Martinez on him, not letting him go anywhere. So Riley will stretch out a 17-footer at him.
Left hand.
Back on December 31st in this game, in the Utah game, which he was playing well. Bernard around the screen, hits the jumper. Another three for UCLA. That's his first, but the Bruins are 4 of 5 from beyond the arc and shooting 61% for the game.
Yeah, they're shooting, well, 61% on the road. Can it hold up? That's the question.
Carlson shakes free for the answer.
7th high school in Utah. Utah typically does have a lot of foreign players.
Juzang. The clock is stopped right now, and the clock stopped for a couple of seconds right there. It looked like opportunity to rest him as it is. Bernard misses, Juzang rather misses the three.
Well, in Timmy Allen's case, of course, he's the leading scorer at almost 18 points, is thus far hanging in there.
You know, UCLA shooting 57%, and that's great. But 44%, that's also good.
Well, percentages are different. There's that left-hander, just jab step.
Riley wants it inside. Under a minute now remaining in the first half. Juzang steps into a three, and he nails it.
Shot this. I mean, UCLA has a chance to go up 10, which is more than they've been ahead the whole first half, and not what Utah wanted going into the halftime, because that's like starting a new game 10 points down. See what UCLA does to get a shot.
Juzang swatted out of bounds by Carlson. 0.4 of a second, which is enough time to
tip it. Can catch and shoot it, but it's got to be very quick, but you certainly can't make a pass. Yep, that could go. Counts if it goes.
Doesn't go.
Happen.
Carlson had 7 points from Plummer to assist, so 2 of Utah starters had a combined 20, Plummer and Carlson. Batten had 2, Larson had 0, and Timmy Allen had 2. That's the Utah lineup that starts the second half. Meanwhile, Cody Riley goes right back to...
There's Plummer stepping back, which is what he can do, and he draws nothing. Doesn't even get around.
Hit Juzang in the chest with that air ball, and now here comes Jaquez.
Utah's got to be very, very careful the first 5 minutes of the second half that UCLA just doesn't run away from it. Look how deep Riley's got it right there. He goes back to the right hand again. Same thing.
Trying to get it back into Riley.
If Carlson allow him to dribble inside their guy and get closer to the basket, Carlson's under a little bit of a weight disadvantage.
Campbell now attacks. Gets fouled, and the bucket counts.
He knows his job is to make his teammates better. Guys, all you're seeing is blue jerseys. You're not seeing any white jerseys anywhere around the ball. Everybody's kind of waiting for somebody else to do something.
Plummer down to the floor with it. Here's Batten, and that breaks the 13-0 run. Utah's lost its last 3. UCLA entering play today, winners of 3 in a row. Riley, he's got it going right now. 13 points.
Because he's probably not going to beat you off the dribble, so don't just let him stand and shoot the ball.
Bernard's turn to get inside and score. Free throw shooter.
Having 3 minutes, guy, and all of a sudden it goes from 8 to 18, just like that.
You saw the graphic. Utah has not attempted a free throw in this game. Larson will try a three, and that's his first half with those 2 fouls.
Yeah, Utah does not have a physical dominant player. That's an easy shot right there. Goes underneath.
Again.
The thing about those shots that he's taken are not bad shots, because those are shots he makes. He steps back, he gets going, he can make all those shots. The problem is he can get them all off. Here's Campbell in the paint, probing.
4 straight buckets for the Bruins.
Be misleading. Start coming out of the timeout with 2 missed shots.
Timmy Allen inside.
Maybe that'll get him going a little.
De Silva, Stanford playing Oregon tonight, but without De Silva, who's missing the game due to what's been called a lower extremity injury.
Probably a leg.
Yeah, I mean, some portion of it. As Hawkins hits the 3.
Tremendous tradition. If you go back and look at all the athletes who played at Long Beach Poly in any number of different sports, it's just been incredible.
20-point game out of the timeout. Larson knocks in the triple.
Which is pretty impressive, because Colorado, very well coached, as is UCLA, and not usually going to give up a lead like that. Of course, I think, as I recall, wasn't that the game that Plummer just went off?
He had 23 and a half. And
you're not going to come back if you're from where he shoots it, not so much. Steph Curry shoots a set shot an awful lot, but it's a little higher than that.
Jordan Bell, Tyus Edney, Long Beach Poly guys. Whoa, Jaime Jaquez comes.
Frankly, and I'm not speaking out of turn, I don't think, because I know Coach K would tell you the same thing. I'm a little disappointed in the resistance Utah's putting up defensively.
Here's Martinez, who had a strong first half.
Stops. They gotta physically get involved a little bit more.
Chun cutting off, and so Riley on the kick out hits the 2.
You like Hawkes. He's just a tough guy. He's just junkyard dog. He's in there just fighting, playing, having some fun.
I asked Mick Cronin when we spoke with him yesterday if he's the #1 glue guy on the team, and then 40 in that triple overtime win over Stanford.
Well, that'll do it for you. You mentioned the fact his father, Guy, I remember him. As I recall, he was in the league when I was trying to get Ryland Jones some time, see if he can't get a little timing, rhythm.
Jones coming off the bench today after missing 4 games with that shoulder injury. Here's Larson, who had a 3 a few minutes ago. Now Martinez. Bat.
There you go. She went boom, boom to the shooter, and he got some rhythm off that. So I think that's important.
What do you think, big picture, about this UCLA team as you think about, obviously there's still a regular season crown on the line, and you've got the conference tournament, but when you think about the NCAA tournament, what do you think about these Bruins and how they fit into that picture?
Well, I like them better than, I haven't seen with this group of kids, getting them to play, understand how to win, physical. You look at his hand up there.
Larson, a deep 3 over Riley. His second 3 of the 8 minutes now remaining in regulation.
I rest my case. There's a double inside. Larson is. I like Carlson. Boy, he spun off. It was a big part of it, but watch for UCLA to get a little more cautious on offense, get a little better shot, not get careless.
Jaquez, the timeout was called by
first possession, what they call hammer, where Ryland Jones drove to the baseline, looking to the opposite corner on a drive and drift, and UCLA covered that. There's nothing there for Jones to make that pass.
Mick Cronin calling that play from the sideline, and it results in a
against a good team. That's awfully impressive.
Carlson, nice shot, his second bucket of the second half. Larson is able to bring it in. Jones, the open three for Martinez.
Go to the offensive glass, trying to protect against the break.
Is that more common in the NBA game, the transition effort there?
Yeah, just because it's so hard to get an offensive rebound in the NBA that it's just not worth your while. And the guys are so good in the open court in the NBA that you have to guard a 2-on-1. Oh, Rylan Jones going to pop.
Can't hit it.
Thought he might have taken it and created the 2-on-1 for the 100%er, but
Mick Cronin's going to take a timeout.
Wild shots. He doesn't want UCLA to give Utah any more possessions. Wow. Plummer's been quiet, you know, and because he can get a shot whenever he wants. He's just not been able to get shots. Speaking of being quiet,
Timmy Allen scores.
That things factor in. It's been a really difficult. Wow.
It just doesn't stop.
They're just catching, shooting.
11 threes in this game now for UCLA. 58% from three for the game. 56% from the field as Batten and Colorado, the Bruins 40th in the net. Colorado is 24th in the net rankings. Under a minute now left in regulation, and Mick Cronin still coaching very hard. So that is the opportunity that the Bruins have ahead when you start thinking about postseason seeding. Jaquez, another dunk.
There again is Tiger Campbell drawing 3 defenders and finding the open guy. Make Tiger Campbell score the ball. Don't all rally. That's what he wants you to do. He just dropped it for a dunk. And they know. His teammates know. If I move, he'll find me. And that's exactly what he does.
USC, by the way, of course, the team that UCLA tied with for first place, battling at Colorado right now. And so the Bruins will finish the
negated. It's just a basketball game in a nice facility, whether it be at SC or UCLA. So UCLA going to come away with a really impressive win right here. That has to be about as good as they've played all year. Certainly as good as they've shot the ball. A little disappointed, as Coach Kristoyak is, about the resistance that Utah put up in a home game.